Welcome, listeners, to a new episode of Dungeons and Pop Aberrant Adventures as we return to fictional heroism. But first, Brian has some special news as we've actually managed to get some sponsors. Hey, Brian, hit us up.
I would like to take this time to mention that we actually have a couple of affiliates now. I bet our listeners get really thirsty, don't they? We actually have a sponsorship from Liquid Water, Life Water, and we'll make sure to have that code up in today's soda break, so you guys can get in that. Because if you use our code Dungeons and Pop, you'll receive, I believe, about 15% off your order. And we know there's a bunch of people who have their hungry little youngins and babies out there. I got BB right here next to me. Our other affiliate is the company Nom Nom. They make specialized dog food meals for your pets, and BB just loves them. So, and that is the same affiliate code for that is Dungeons and Pop. And you'll receive 35% off your first order and package from Nom Nom. All right, Sean, I'm all done.
Hey, folks, we have a new episode of Fictional Heroism I'm just going to let you know, this is the arc before the season finale arc for season 1 of Fictional Heroism, which the next arc will have a very special guest. But for now, we have our friends Jason from Memester of a Week and Laura from $2 Creature Feature joining us. And now, on to the show. Greeting, listeners, and welcome back to Adventures with Attitudes Fictional Heroism. We got a number of returning, a number of new guests, and some fun times as I am going full Scooby-Doo with this arc, which means if you guys don't mind, I think we do this in media res and introduce your characters as we go around the van, if that works. Sort of.
Yeah. Okay,
so I think we see you guys are all in a white van that has some crude. It has some flower drawings on it. Some of them start out crude, but they seem to grow in detail as if maybe this was started painting on by a small child and they grew up into a teenager. And you guys are all heading down the road towards the city of, let's call it Pratchetville. You guys are heading to the city of Pratchetville on a quest for the library. And as the camera zooms around this abomination of a van, because it is a white van. We all know what white vans are most known for. We're not going to get into that. And I think the camera kind of zooms in and we see what's the version of trio that's like 4? Is it
quartet?
A quartet?
Quartet with, who's driving the van at the moment? Would you guys say?
Oh,
don't look at me.
Probably my character, I would think. Actually,
yes.
Yeah.
I think we should be responsible. It should be that. I mean, we have a sheep demon, 18-year-old. We have how old is your character, Brian?
Yes.
I
think the answer is yes.
So I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to tell it to you like this. Yes. We have a drunk old man.
So we're focusing on Jason is the one driving. So Jason.
Yeah. So who you see behind the wheel is a taller guy, around 25, longer brown hair, green shirt, brown pants. This is Roger Delphine, the spellslinger.
Okay, and Roger, I think as you're driving along, you're driving along, the radio's playing, and I think as the sound as the camera comes in, we start to hear more of the sound of the radio, and a familiar voice is going over the radio, and it's Colby Brown of the library, and she's kind of panicked. The listeners can hear that there's noise of someone talking, but then here's the question then, Roger. If you're in the driver's seat, who's in the passenger seat?
I think in the passenger seat, the seat from which it is second easiest to avoid motion sickness. We see a tall, thin man of sort of middle to older years, wearing a very somber, old-fashioned dark coat, and even inside the van, a large, broad-brimmed black hat, and a sort of narrow white tie. And he has the window rolled down and is leaning out of it, attempting to avoid motion sickness. This is Mr. Disputable Matters Collins, who is the exile and is still not used to riding in motor vehicles.
I think it's the camera looks out and the camera kind of turns around, and then you're hearing over the radio that Colby is. So, yeah, everyone higher up than me that cares to go out on a mission has disappeared into Pratchetville, and apparently everyone thinks I can lead a team. I don't know why, but we think this might be the best for you guys because of just how weird the city is. Every person that we've sent in that just for reconnaissance has been showing that it's like it's stuck in the 80s, and like the music, the news over the broadcast, even the diners seem to be just it's very retro. And considering your team's specialty, we felt it might be best to send you guys in. And I think then the camera is picking this up, and it's zooming in the back. We see the last two members of the party. Brian, Dice, who wants to go first?
Oh, I think I can set this up perfectly for Dice, because we see laying on the ground, covering his eldritch abomination of a body. I am playing the summon. His true name is something like, but in the human common tongue, he calls himself Stanley Hugh Man. And he's got like a cloak that has like a terrible human drawing on it, giving a thumbs up. And slinking underneath, you see like these goat legs, but then a tentacle coming underneath, and it's attached to the back of the van, and it's doing a jump rope. And he's just, all right, Belle, give me another 100 jumps. And he's chugging a bottle. Why are we here again?
Shall I describe Balthazar real quickly, Sean?
Yeah,
please.
So he's in his human form, so he has little tiny horns on his head. Bell, or Balthazar, something in a very eldritch language is his last name that is very unspeakable. And to just speak it would just pretty much take forever. So he doesn't say his last name very often. But Bell is a monstrosity, or he appears half demon. He's wearing like a jean jacket, kind of a geeky t-shirt and blue jeans, and has a sword on his back. Like if you ever seen Trunks from DBZ with his sword on the back, yeah, he has like some double-edged sword. And he just looks like, why did they pair me up with such a drunken wretch? Because he just kind of puts his fingers to his temple, and he has like a little sucker in his mouth.
Because I'm powerful. Powerfully drunk.
I swear.
But
you cause more incidences by your alcoholness than you do. I swear, you cause more problems being drunk than you solve.
Oh, be quiet. He slithers over behind the driver's seat, and he's just, now my good driver, my leader. He's doing his best to keep the drunkenness from coming out. Where are we going again?
Where were we going again? Do we get a name of the town?
Oh yeah, Pratchetville.
Pratchetville. Okay. Yeah. We're going to Pratchetville. Seems something about some sort of retro-inspired issue.
Okay, so we're going to Pratchetville, and we're dealing with some kind of wretches. I got it. I'm going to sleep. He just falls asleep standing up.
All right, good night. He's normally like this, right?
Bell just looks at him. You have no idea. Bell takes off his sword sheath and just bonks in the back of the head, like beat bonks. What was this? Brian's character's name? Was it Stan, right?
Stan, you can just call him Stan. That's why I went with a
Stan.
very easy name, Stan.
Okay, I just bonk Stan in the back of the head roughly with my sheath. My sword.
Bear, I love you.
Wake up, you drunk!
He grabs Bell and he just cuddles with him, standing up. I love you.
I think on the little monitor on the front that Kobe's been speaking, you just see her rubbing her face and goes, "So, well, I do have some good news. We were actually weirdly got some literature out of the town, and we found 2 points that we think are related. At least I think is related. It seems odd for such a thing of a retro theme is that there is a town dance-off / festival going on in the middle of the town. And there's also a flyer that is saying there's going to be a celebration at the biggest blockbuster in the world, which is strange. And I'm not going crazy. Those closed years ago for everyone else, right?
Yeah, no, I would know. I got laid off.
Bell raises his hand. As retro, are you saying the town's stuck in a weird time period?
80s. Hell.
Yeah, like when they went in, there was like a diner with people running around with roller skates. There was a town curfew, and they had a DJ.
As
Despicable.
Quick question: what time period are they stuck in right now? Like, can you give us kind of a idea? Because I'm not sure my clothes would blend in very well. And well,
I think depending on the century, friend, you may be of less concern in that department than myself. Perhaps I will take the focus off of you.
I think this question's actually answered as you guys start to pull into the city, and it's like I'm going to say it. It's like you're pulling into Pleasantville,
Or in the 50s.
or no, not Pleasantville. No, Happy Days.
Oh, I like that. This pleases me.
It is very 80s. You actually see people with pompadours.
Okay,
so
Sean, I'm going to blow your mind real quick, Sean. Technically, Happy Days, now it did come out in the 80s, but it's supposed to take place in the 60s.
This is correct.
So the pompadour was more of a rockabilly thing. So that was mainly the early 50s or late 60s. Sorry.
Although there was like a rockabilly like revival in like the 80s and 90s, right?
I'm sorry. It's just the minute I heard Happy Days, I was like, wait a minute, isn't that 60s technically? I'm just being a butthead. I'll stop.
I'm going to ask as a GM, which decade is synthwave? Because I don't know.
80s.
70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother loves synthwave, so I know this. It's has to be 80s.
That is total 80s. But no. Dude, you can keep the pompadours and stuff. Keep it, dude.
Yeah.
I think even here, you're driving by the diner. You see like the standard Scooby-Doo brown coat top with obvious top uniform, big brimmed hat. There's synthwave blasting over the diner speakers.
Dear God, we've gone into that Netflix show.
Yeah, this is great. I don't know why this is necessarily a problem.
Bell just looks at you. God damn, we're stuck in the 80s. Bell switches into his demon form and just kind of shuffles over over from the back to the driver's seats and just like, I'm not letting that old guy just use me as a cuddling pillow or something.
We should actually use him as a distraction, but
I think Kobe Chica. Well, the reason why it's the problem is that like the competent Eldritch being got sent in, and we don't know where he went. As well as like Greta went in, and we don't know where she went. Like people go in here and they don't come back out, and we don't know why.
So the competent remark goes completely over Stan's head, and he's just, all right then. Well, where should we start?
As the camera's watching over, there's a quick aside, and there's a man in a blockbuster who suddenly stands up straight and feels he has been complimented and doesn't know why.
God damn it. Oh my god, we have to go to a fucking Blockbuster.
Looking around and taking all of this in, Mr. Collins will lean over to Roger and say, I have what is perhaps a basic question. The amount of dancing in public that is happening, is that typical of the area in which we are finding ourselves? Or is that possibly a sign of demonic possession? I am unsure of the norms of this era.
Yeah, I mean, there was more dancing in public. This is still more than usual, I think.
Bill chimes in. Possibly. I mean, Bill kind of just put his hand on his mouth a little bit and just thinks, well, I mean, I know some crazy little dudes that would love to just get some shits and giggles, but at the same time, it's kind of with the times, I guess. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen a dancing demon want to possess people.
Oh, I had one of those pass through town in my home time. It garnered much attention. I was able to deal with it. So if it is a dancing demon again, I may be able to help us. But if this is just people who act this way, I am out of my depth.
I mean, it's not like what was that strange illness it's like dancing Frenchman illness or something? What was it?
Yeah, one of the dancing epidemics.
Yeah, it was like a dancing epic. It was like
contagious. Yeah,
like they danced, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah, like a mass hysteria situation.
So Stan actually burps up and goes, I believe you're actually talking about the dancing disease in during the 1600s of France, my dear boy. God damn it, pay attention to my history classes. But yes, that was...
I thought they were French Canadians.
No, it was...
I'm going to let you know right now, Laura, you've changed the mystery.
Right. So it was actually believed that these people were suffering some form of ancient disease, and that by giving them some silly little red shoes, it would cure it, and actually it did. It was a confounding mystery. It surprisingly, people were more open back then, and they weren't trying to burn them at the stake.
And also, Colin, since you're asking this question, can you roll me and investigate a mystery? Also, dice, watch out. There's lights flash in your background. I think you're about to be invaded by aliens.
Oh, that's just me switching.
We need your brains, dice.
Oh, goddamn meatwad.
Oh, well, some popsicles. Oh, moi.
So on a realistic note, I'm actually going to say that Stan wasn't just sitting there. He was opening up the side of the van, because I actually would also like to take a look around and maybe investigate a mystery.
I mean, I'm climbing over in the front seat and just sitting next to you two, just like, I want to stay away from the smelly guy. It's like,
that's fair.
You see like a 3-foot tall sheep demon man.
So actually, while Laura's rolling, I actually do have a question for you, Jason.
Yes.
Where does Roger park? Because I just need to know this, so for where I'm getting out, where we're getting out.
Yeah, I think I would go immediately to the Blockbuster, because Roger wants to go see his old stomping grounds.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm just picturing Stan just getting out of the van and just like, he just stands up and just falls over. Just like,
my tunic is all torn, but I'm going to be quiet.
All right. So I've rolled Investigate a Mystery, and I have gotten a 9. And I do have an extra exiled move for this.
Okay.
I will read the questions out from it, but I'm not sure yet if I'm going to ask one of these questions or one of the regular ones. But the move is Learned, which you researched all the legends and tales of monsters in your home time. You can ask one of these questions as well as from the usual list. Did this creature or type of creature exist in my home time? What defenses are effective against this creature? And what do I know about this creature that has been forgotten? So I could ask one of those, or I could ask usual, what happened here? What sort of creature could do? It could hurt? Where did it go? What was it going to do? What was it considered here?
I got an idea. I'm going to strive a little bit and then give you a chance to ask the question.
Okay. Yeah, as we observe. Cool.
you're looking around and you observe, you notice there's something. You actually do notice that there is a lot more dancing than you would expect. In fact, this is the thing that sticks out to you. There seems to be a lot more dance fighting going on.
Oh.
The people are actively having dance-offs in the street.
Cool.
Some of them in the street, some of them on the thing, but it's something that it sticks out to you. It's not just people dancing in unity. There's conflict.
Interesting. All right. Okay.
It's a West Side Story situation.
Yeah. So I think I think right now there's no like particular reason to believe this is a creature. So I'm going to ask one of the more like just general phenomena situations. I think what is being concealed here? Like what have we maybe not noticed yet, or like what is being covered up by all these dance battles?
I think it catches you as someone who doesn't actually dance that often, the time you're from as well, is that the people losing these dance battles, they are slinking off, and they almost appear like they seem like they're weaker than they should be. Like, losing these dances that they're having, it's like there's I think it reminds you of your past, like that there were some creatures that would, or creatures or phenomenon where it would introduce this common element and bring conflict into it. Like, and this is actually weirdly the most mundane version of it you see, because usually this is like something that would tear apart towns and stuff. Something would cause a conflict, people would take sides, and then it would turn the town into civil war while whatever was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it all depends. You don't know yet what it's doing with it, but it's clear that the conflicts happening are causing energy to be collected. For what? You need to investigate a little more.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'll turn back to the rest of the car. It does seem this dancing is more than. Again, I do not fancy myself an expert on the dancing customs of our new shared time, nor this time, but I have not observed in our new time dancing of this nature that seems to be a sort of conflict and to leave its participants drained like this. But it does remind me of things I saw in my own time in the past. Suggests perhaps something is gathering the energies of these dancers in some fashion. To what purpose, I don't know.
And just a bit of background flavor. I think as you say this and the others are watching you, they can see in a distance a young man in a blue vest, red shirt, red and white hat, jeans, and tennis shoes lose a dance battle against a cocky man with red hair, a blue shirt, and black jeans with his arms crossed, looking like the smuggest dancer in the world as the other guy crawls away.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Could I use magic to make us look like we're from this time period?
You could, actually. Yeah, you guys can use magic to disguise yourselves.
Okay, I'm going to use a magic on each of us. So I got to roll. I have to roll weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be. I'm going to get my dice real quickly and see what I roll. Oh, so that's a 3 on weird. So.
Oh, while Bella's doing that, Stan already left to go talk to the cocky dancer that won.
That'll be 11.
Okay, yeah.
Rodder's going to get out of the van and move into the Blockbuster and start checking things out over there once we get things rolling.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm making sure that everyone is disguised enough so we at least fit in.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Stan just feels he needs to talk to this cocky dancer. Maybe the winners can tell us what's the point in all this.
Bell's just going to let you do it, whatever you want to do. I'm going to follow Roger. Just like, I'm going to shift back to my human form and just like follow you behind. I have an air sucker in my mouth.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, for 10 plus, the magic works as issue, choose your effect. And I think for this would count as do something beyond human limitations. So yeah, you all look like the Scooby-Doo gang now.
Already was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the character. What if Shaggy could do magic? That's the character.
Oh, God. You don't want to know what's happened underneath that goddamn cloak. It's a mess.
Oh, no.
Stan is
You look like Scooby.
an eldritch abomination, Scooby. Stan is just, oh, Belle, I'm going to get you for this one. We're going to have a serious talk, young man. But
And I think as you guys are heading towards the Blockbuster, it does seem open, but there's shuffling of someone in the back. I think as you're walking, you can kind of hear boxes being moved towards the front, and you see a box of candy being moved towards the front. And roll me a sharp.
Whomst.
Belle and Roger.
Okay.
Okay. So my sharp is that's a -1. Let me get my dice.
That's a 7 + 2, a 9 over here.
Okay, I rolled a 5 and a 6, -1. That will be a 10.
Okay, Roger. This person seems familiar. I think you pick up that it's someone from the library, but they actually are dressed up in a Blockbuster uniform. They have weirdly colored hair that's slicked back. But Belle, with that kind of a role, you realize you're watching Troy Manchester, the library's physician and also eldritch superhero, bringing a bunch of bunching crunch up to the front of the Blockbuster. As he waves over, like, 1 second, I just got to put this away.
So his last name is Manchester, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Manchester? Belle's just like, he confused. What are you doing?
Wait, what? I'm not a doctor. I'm a CSR, Mr.
Belle.
Pony Danza.
I'm Belle. You don't remember me?
I'm no. Do you need to see my manager?
Yeah. Roger is picking up on this. And once you say Mr. Manchester, Dr. Manchester is like, oh, wait, yeah, no, I do recognize you. But clearly, like, he doesn't remember what's going on. And I'd like to investigate a mystery.
All right, yeah. Don't worry, Brian. We're getting your part.
oh no, we're good. Take your time, man. Like I said, it's just become a mess with what Belle has done to me. Are we sure we want to get to that horror yet?
I do like that the concept is, oh, I'm going to use magic to disguise everyone into appropriate things. Okay, we're all the Scooby gang. And Brian's immediately like, okay, I'm the dog, I guess. There are 4 of us that can fill the roles of the 5 people in the Scooby gang. And yet, I'm going to be the dog.
You're going to be the dog? Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I have an idea. Idea for Stan.
So for my investigative mystery question, I got a 7, so I get a hold one. And I'm going to ask, what is being concealed here?
I have a counter question to you, Jason.
Yeah.
Which Shaggy is Roger? Does he take off the R word?
Wait, are you just asking, is he a stoner?
Yes.
You could have just said that.
Oh, you could just ask.
Wait, like, weed is legal in how many states?
I feel like at a certain point this crosses over. Like if I choose the stoner, then I just turn into Mordecai from Memester of the Week.
I admit it. That's the reason why I asked that.
No, I'm gonna say this is going to be the live action movie version of this character.
Nice.
Okay, so I think if you're looking around, you actually kind of notice something strange. There's a lot of something you kind of remember back to something that was said earlier on.
There's a lot of pot.
There actually are a lot of pots in this room. It's a very eco-friendly Blockbuster.
It's a very forward Blockbuster that we are in. Very, very modern hipster aesthetic, this Blockbuster.
Yes. I think as you're doing this, because we started in media res, I think you kind of flash back. You kind of have like a flashback, and you remember the initial reason why they were looking into this town, Pratchetville, was they were looking for a Harriet
Tubman, famous civil rights leader.
No, a Harriet.
I don't think that's right. I don't think that's the correct thing. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, Harriet Prancer. They were a special researcher for the library that specialized in nostalgia-based phenomenon. And you catch on to this poster for the dance festival, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it mentions at the bottom that get your chance to meet famous DJ Nancy Prancer at the festival. And it has a picture for, and it's weird. They look like Harriet, but not entirely. It's really weird. I think you feel like you should remember something about this, but roll me plus weird quickly.
Okie dokie. 7 + 2, that's a 9.
The name sounds familiar, but it's as you're trying to remember what it is. I feel like with a mixed success, your head kind of hurts. You kind of feel like you're it almost feels like coming off of a bad drug reaction. As you're trying to think about it, you're having trouble focusing.
Fuzzy headed. Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah. I think Troy kind of like, he's looking at you. He's like, he starts waving his hand in front of your face. Sir, are you okay? Do I need to call an ambulance?
No, I'm fine. Thanks, man. What's the deal with the festival around here? And if you want to, we can cut away while you think about that answer.
Yeah, well, I think as we do this, we cut back. Also, who would Collins follow?
Yeah, I was gonna. Would Stan like company for this, or I'm?
Yes, please. There needs to be a witness for what's about to go down.
All right, Mr. Collins will follow Stan.
Oh God! Oh no!
So what happens as he came out and the magic took hold? The cloak stayed behind, and normally this would be a cause for a lot of alarm because his real form is being shown to everyone. But the form that Bell turned him into, he's turned into a Great Dane that has a gray coat with a black spot and has like a red prospector hat on its head. He looks at himself in the mirror in the window and just goes, "Dum dum dum dum."
Oh no!
And pulls out a magnifying glass and just starts walking towards the dancer.
This is definitely blending in. This is definitely better.
Well, come on, Mr. Collins. I think I found a clue. Dum 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 dum.
Mr. Collins looks.
I'm sorry. I've been sitting here listening how to get this voice right, okay?
Is memorable.
It's okay. I'm frequently shifting between Shaggy Rogers and Taco, so.
Oh, there, Shaggy.
I think Mr. Collins is like not even fully registered the strangeness of Stan's situation because he himself is still taking in his 80s outfit, which I think involves far more leather and spikes than anything he has ever worn before.
I'm just picturing like a post-apocalyptic Fred outfit.
Yes. Here we go. Love it.
Oh, it's like Fred Jones is in Mad Max. That's great.
I love it.
I like it. All right.
This is so good.
That's not quite what I was picturing, but it is now.
Guys, thank you so much for this. I'm crying.
Does Collins have the ascot?
No, I think
it should be an ascot with skulls on it.
Would you say he's an ass man?
He doesn't know what that means.
An ascot man, as it were.
Yeah, I think because he usually wears like a little like, you know, those sort of like Puritan like tie, like little white like tied eye neck things, and I think it has been transformed into like several chains, including like a skull pendant. So yes, he will recover from the shock of this and follow Stanley human towards this dance contest winner.
Well, my gracious, Mr. Collins. This is the winner right here.
I think as you guys head towards this dance winner, you notice that he has an unironic name tag on his shirt that just says one word.
Oh.
R-E-D. Red. Actually, I want to retcon it. He does not have red hair. He has orange curly hair.
Okay.
But the clothing is the same.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'm not.
Can you describe his clothing again, actually?
I'll describe it. And I'm going to actually look up a reference too, so I get it right. Because
Well, as you're looking at Stanley starts to circle around him, sniffing, just. Well, I'm there, Mr. Red. My name's Stanley. Don't.
I will be fascinated to hear how Red reacts to this talking dog.
I just realized I screwed up in the original description.
Oh,
Okay.
And so I forgot the original description personally.
it's
so.
fine.
Well, it still says red because this is, but let's put it this way. The original description was a spiky brown-haired man wearing a purple shirt. Future me edit this back into the past too. He is wearing a purple shirt with a yin-yang medallion and black pants, and he's standing there cockily, and I think he's like crossing his arms, and now he has curly.
It's Blue from Pokemon.
Yeah.
The original description is Blue from Pokemon.
Yeah, so you can guess from that who the loser was. But now he also has orange curly hair because he is also now on pastiche of red herring.
I understand now.
And you see him, he crosses his arm and he goes, "Well, a talking dog. That's a cute trick, but you sure you want to face the master?" He does a fancy dance step. No, there is a messed up thing. He does a fancy tap dance step.
Oh.
You
Some singing in the rain shit.
You don't think I'm not prepared for this? I just said I've been watching clips, sir. So, jumping back on all fours, Stanley looks at him and goes, "Well, Jolly mister, I believe I got the moves." And he spins in a tornado, and all of a sudden he has a big curly afro and a red Michael Jackson jacket on. He goes, "Bite it, miss. Let's kick it." And he starts to dance.
I think Red takes this as a challenge, and he starts the dance battle with you.
Stanley's hammer dancing at him. "Come on, mister. I'm going to make you look."
I feel like Mr.
You go first, Laura.
I think Mr. Collins arrives like right as this actual dancing is beginning. So it's like, all right, it's like too late to intervene in this talking dog situation. I'm just going to watch and see what happens here.
Understandable. Truly.
I think Red first, he actually does he's approaching you, Stan.
He does the Dio meme.
Yeah.
Of course.
Me, Dio.
Actually, you know what, Collins? I think since you're familiar with, you've been paying attention, you kind of feel an aura off as he does this, as if
I have to do this. This is for Jason. He just looks at him with this strange aura and he just goes, "Oh, Mukate no Kuro no Ka," which is Japanese for, "Oh, you're approaching me?"
Yeah, roll me a read a bad situation, Laura, because
Okay.
Because this is the worst situation you could possibly be in.
I was literally going to wait like slightly longer and then ask to do that.
Oh my God.
Alrighty.
I would have waited a little bit, but I just feel like since he's doing the JoJo thing, you can visibly see the aura around him.
Okay. And I also do have my weird move is sensitive, so like I feel like Mr. Collins can also like sort of sense this aura. All right. Ooh, that's my shirt. That's a 7.
Okay. What's your one question?
Oh gosh. I'm considering a 3-way tie between are there any dangers we haven't noticed, biggest threat, and best way to protect the victims. I guess Can I actually watch as the dance develops a little bit and then ask one of the questions?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was the best choice.
And unless you want the dance to develop in such a way that it reveals the answer to what I ask, which is also fine.
I think we can wait a little bit, but Brian,
Yes, sir.
you need to roll me a plus tough. You're dancing against the dance master.
I am so happy that this is what I get to roll. I get to roll tough.
Actually, you know what? I'm taking that back. Because this actually, I'm being really stupid about this because you know what? This should be a plus cool.
No good. I still have points at that. Oh no. Oh no. The dice gods don't want this to happen. I rolled a 4.
I think you definitely try to beat this guy named Red, and he's just, it's like moving around. He's dancing steps around. It's like an 80s video. There's sparkling energy in the air. He's like doing all kinds of like,
oh god,
magician tricks.
That song. Let's just say Thunder in Your Heart starts playing.
Let me turn on my camera quickly. I'm going to turn on my camera so you guys see what I'm doing because I don't know what the name of this is.
Oh, no. So it's literally that moment, like Thunder in Your Heart starts playing. Oh my god, he's got Fate of Fury. Feel like a dum 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 dum.
And Stan,
Yep,
you feel weak and you take 1 harm.
worth it.
You feel like you've been dancing for days.
I'm just picturing a dancing dog just like...
So can I actually say that this was actually, if this was a Yu-Gi-Oh moment, I would have to say, you just activated my trap card. Stan turns back to Collins and goes, hey, it appears when you lose dancing, you get to feeling like you've been doing this for days. My little papers are hurting, Missy. I'm feeling so tired. Can you get me a Stanley snack?
Of course.
As you turn to them, you can actually see Stan's face drooping, like they look old in a way that they haven't before.
Interesting.
I feel like an old dog.
Oh, they look old. Okay, like physically older, not just tired.
Kind of like a mix of the two. Like I feel like this would affect Stan more than anything, since he's a creature where he's never representing his true self.
Oh,
like in those video games where instead of a health meter, you just look more and more fucked up.
Okay.
can I just actually say for fun then, Sean, because the way you just said that gave me a really fun idea. So in idea for Stan, his idea of like going old, he's more of a puppy with an older dog head.
Oh God.
Congratulations, you become Scrappy Doo.
Puppy power.
I'm just also picturing a Stanley snack is just Everclear and a weed brownie.
No.
All right. I think observing this, Mr. Collins will ask the question, what's the biggest threat? Like,
I think if you're thinking about this and you're watching this and Stan's telling you, and you look back to Red, he looks stronger and he looks sicker. And I think you kind of piece together, you're figuring out like, okay, this energy must be going somewhere. And as far as you can tell, whatever creature's doing this, it's storing the energy being taken in the winter. And I think you come to a horrifying realization.
Mm-hmm.
Because the festival, what you've been told about the festival is it includes a dance off.
Which suggests a certain amount of finality.
Yeah, because I think you're thinking about it, you're realizing as much as you've been seeing people dancing off, they're going to go to this tournament. They're going to dance off, feed off of each other. And whatever's doing this, there is no way a population's worth of dance off, fed off magic is going to fit into a person, maybe a monster.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Just from the effect that you see that happen to Stan, I feel like you kind of get the idea maybe the more energy goes in, the more these people being affected take out. Because Stan looks far worse than the young man in the 80s getup that walked away.
Okay. Yeah, so it's sort of spiraling.
Oh, man. He got greedy with me.
You just have so much life force in you, Stanley.
I can't help it. I'm so delicious. I'm just a delectable little youngling. Now, on the serious part, as Stan is making that joke, he's looking at the newly buff and thickness of Red. Is there anything like coming off of Stanley towards Red, or is there anything going off Red off into a distance?
That sounds like an investigative mystery, but first, I'm going to need you to read a bad situation, Stan.
Oh, man.
You changed the mystery to your detriment.
God damn it. Wow. I get an 11 in my worst stat.
You were just dancing so hard. You've had a flash of genius.
Man, I'm so lucky.
Okay, so you have 3 questions you can...
So, yes. But yep, I'm looking at the questions now. So, of course, I'm going to have to do the obvious one. What's the biggest threat?
I think you are continuing to feel weaker. And I think you kind of, you've been looking around and you see these people doing these, and you realize something horrific.
Oh, no.
These people are subconsciously doing these dance-offs because they realize on some level that they're feeling weak. It's a subconscious level that this is not just like a one-time feed. This is like and I think as you're thinking about it, your eyes kind of glow and you tap into your eldritch thing. This is a parasitic network. Oh. People are dancing off for their lives to find someone else to subconsciously feed on.
Oh.
So that they don't die. And you can feel this thing is, even if you're as an eldritch being, you are being fed on now that you've lost.
I gotta dance at someone to make. Ooh, oh no!
Is there? Do you mean? And if you can't answer this, that's fine. But do you mean that Stan like has a sense that he is still being fed off of?
Yeah.
Okay.
He can feel. It's like how they describe people zombifying before they finally snap and suddenly they're a zombie and they're going to attack. Also, do you let Collins know this, Stan? Because you do know that Collins has certain abilities.
So I'm going to hold my last 2 questions. I'm going to hold 2. And then Stan turns to Collins and goes, I believe I've been zombified. I got the dancing virus. It's in me bad.
You are possessed.
Yeah.
You believe?
Yeah.
I do. If my understanding of what is developing here is correct, the energy is flowing more and more towards an eventual central winner, and a way that suggests it may be too much energy to be held in the form of an ordinary person. I am about to make to you, Stanley, a suggestion that I do not myself know if this is a good idea or not. I rather suspect it's not, but I offer it anyway. You are a great and terrible ancient being. It is conceivable to me that you would be able to hold more energy than some of these others here. It is possible if you in a great number of dancing contests, you could become so powerful that you could fight whatever started this thing. Damn, you understand. Completely pulling this out of conjecture.
Stanley looks with serious eyes and he just goes, I know what I must do. Dance is going to enter the dance battle contest.
So Stanley's going to be the champion of
Stan now he still in the dog form. He has a fucking leotard, sweatbands, elbow bands, wristbands, knee bands, and a headband. He's just, I'm gonna dance my feet off.
Oh yeah, Brian, you still have a few questions. Do you want to use one of them?
What's most vulnerable to be?
Are you sure that's the question you want to ask?
Damn it. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
I think Stan realizes this is a good, in logical sense, it's a good idea. In pure logical sense, if you follow this plan, you will likely be at least on par enough to fight the creature one-on-one. But here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It means you would have to kill this entire town in the process, because to take on this energy, you're still going to be feeding on the entire town. I think a part of you realizes maybe that's what the whole point of, that's why this thing has set up this situation, is it's a way to feed on the entire town, but only having to deal with one idiot who doesn't know what's going on, has no control of their powers, and is basically a giant Eldritch Scooby snack. You can find Dungeons and Pop on Twitter at Dungeons Pop and on your favorite podcast app of choice. We split into 4 separate podcasts, DMP Legacies, which will continue We're Not in Kansas Anymore, and several of our campaigns that don't fit into the other. You can find our cosmic fantasy stories such as Adventures of Attitude and Fictional Heroism on Dungeons and Pop Aberrant Adventures. And you can find where we are showcasing our friends in the community who don't necessarily have the time to run a podcast on their own, or are just new to the community, and DMP Stories in Stein. Cyber City and Brian's Spelljammers campaign are continuing on the Infinite Nerd Serum, which is linked in our show note. In addition, we have joined the Fun Installers Network, a group of independent podcasters working to help each other boost themselves and bring fun to the community. You can also join our Discord social club and join for a game even once. Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed the show, please leave a review.